Access must be created where it is possible. And there are small things each of us can do. At Law Seco, at Project Maverick, the aim is providing free training for law aspirant for all law entrance examination. We have been running these live interactive webinar all weekdays. Today we have with us Dhwani Gupta, who is a specialist in English grammar. She has been taking English sessions, basically reading comprehension, which is primarily the syllabus of English section in common law admission test. Over to you, Dhwani. We have the topic for the day as reading comprehension and figure of speech. Over to you, Dhwani.
Thank you, Harsh. Hello, everybody. My name is Dhwani Gupta. In today's session, we are going to focus on reading comprehension and figures of speech. We all know that reading comprehension is very important for CLAT exam. So today we will begin our session with this passage, which has been taken from Edits and Revisions from Why We Sleep, The New Science of Sleep and Dreams by Matthew Walker. Humans are not sleeping the way nature intended. Throughout developed nations, most adults currently sleep in a monophasic pattern. That is, we try to take a long single bout of slumber at night, the average duration of which is now less than 7 hours. Visit cultures that are untouched by electricity, and you often see something different. Hunter-gatherer tribes such as the Gabra in northern Kenya, whose way of life has changed little over the past thousands of years, sleep in a biphasic pattern. Both the groups take a similarly longer sleep period at night, 7 to 8 hours of time in bed, achieving about 7 hours of sleep, followed by a 30 to 60 minute nap in the afternoon. So we can see in the above passage, the sleep cycle, the sleep pattern of different people, of developed nations and of tribal people have been discussed by the writer. The writer is saying that in the developed nations, mostly the people sleep in a monophasic pattern. So सबसे पहले, what is monophasic pattern? It is a pattern in which a person sleeps once in a day at night for an average duration of 7 hours. But the writer is saying that hunter-gatherer tribes like Gabra in northern Kenya, they have a completely different sleeping pattern. They follow biphasic pattern. So biphasic pattern is a pattern in which a person sleeps 2 times a day. So it is like that in the afternoon, they take a 30 to 60 minute nap, and at night they sleep for 7 to 8 hours a day. So there is also evidence for a mix of the 2 sleep patterns determined by time of year. Pre-industrial tribes such as the Hadza in northern Tanzania or the San of Namibia sleep in a biphasic pattern in the hotter summer months, incorporating a 30 to 40 minute nap at high noon. They then switch to a largely monophasic sleep pattern during the cooler winter months. So there is evidence also which shows that a mix of 2 sleep patterns have also been observed by some pre-industrial tribes such as Hadza in northern Tanzania and the San of Namibia. So these tribes observe biphasic pattern in the summer months. That is, they sleep 2 times a day. In the afternoon, they take a nap of 40 minutes, and then at night, they sleep for 7 hours. After that, in the winters, they completely switch their biphasic pattern, and they sleep and they observe monophasic pattern in which they sleep once in a day. At night, they sleep for 7 hours. Even when sleeping in a monophasic pattern, the timing of slumber observed in pre-industrialized cultures is not of our own contorted making. On average, these tribes people will fall asleep 2 or 3 hours after sunset around 9 p.m. Their nighttime sleep bouts will come to an end just prior to or soon after dawn. So the writer is saying that it is being observed that in a lot of tribal people, they just sleep after sunset, that is around 9 o'clock, and then their sleep come to an end just before dawn or just after dawn. Have you ever wondered about the meaning of the term midnight? It of course means the middle of the night, or more technically, the middle point of solar cycle. And so it is for the sleep cycle of hunter-gatherer cultures and presumably all those that came before. Now consider our cultural sleep norms. Midnight is no longer midnight. For many of us, midnight is usually the time we consider checking our mails one last time, and we know what often happens in the protracted thereafter. Compounding the problem, we do not then sleep any longer into the morning hours to accommodate these later sleep onset times. So now the writer is asking, what is the meaning of midnight? So as the term suggests, midnight means the middle of the night. So the writer is throwing light on the fact that in earlier times, the hunter-gatherers used to sleep by after sunset around 9 o'clock, and then they used to wake up timely by dawn. But now, because in developed countries there is so much change, there is so much development, that midnight is no longer the middle of the night. Now many of us are waking up till midnight, checking our mails, and even not sleeping after that also. So this is just increasing the problem of sleeping. We are not able to sleep in the morning also because of our commitments. So there has been a complete disturbance of the sleep cycle. We cannot. Our circadian biology and the insatiable early morning demands of the post-industrial way of life deny us the sleep we vitally need. At one time, we went to bed in the hours after dusk and woke up with the chickens. Now many of us are still waking up with the chickens, but dusk is simply the time we are finishing up at the office with much of the waking night to go. Moreover, few of us enjoy a full afternoon nap, further contributing to our state of sleep bankruptcy. So the writer is saying that because of our busy schedule, because of our commitments, we are not able to sleep in the morning. So in earlier time, what used to happen is we just go to bed after sunset around 9 p.m. But nowadays, in developed countries, in developed nations, we can largely see that people are finishing their office till sunset. They are reaching home at 9 o'clock. So how will they sleep at 9 o'clock? So because they are coming late, they are sleeping late, and they are not waking up in the morning on time. So this is the major reason that we are not able to compensate our sleep. Earlier, it used to happen that when that people used to wake up by the chickens, but now people are not sleeping till morning also. They are waking whole night, but they cannot sleep in the morning because they have work to do, they have to go office. So there are only a few people who enjoy full afternoon nap, and they can compensate for their sleep, which we can also say a state of sleep bankruptcy. So this was the passage, and it was like true also. It is the fact. Now let's answer the questions. Let's solve together. You are always welcome to write the answers on the chat box. So let's discuss them. Based on the passage above, which of the following is the author most likely to agree with? तो पैसेज के हिसाब से ये कौन से पॉइंट्स में आपको लगता है कि ऑथर सबसे ज्यादा अग्री करेंगे? So the first point is, the way people sleep has been altered drastically by technology, modernity, and the post-industrial way of life. The second point is, the lifestyle of hunter-gatherer tribes is more preferable to that of people in developed nations. The third option is advances in technology, modernity, and the post-industrialized way of life have not affected the way we sleep. Fourth, our clocks are not reliable since they do not give us a true sense of what midnight is. So now let's discuss all the points. So coming to the first point, the way people sleep has been altered drastically by technology, modernity, and post-industrial way of life. Yes, this is the correct answer. In fact, in the starting of the passage also, the writer is saying that because of a lot of development in technology, modernization, industrialization, the sleep cycle has been disturbed a lot. Earlier, the hunter-gatherers, tribal people used to sleep on time, wake up on time, but now the entire sleep cycle have been disturbed. So yes, option A is the correct answer. But we will read the other options also. The lifestyle of hunter-gatherer tribes is more preferable to that of people in developed nations. No, the actually the writer is not saying, but yes, they have a better sleep cycle. C, advances in technology, modernity, and the post-industrial way of life have not affected the way we sleep. No, it is completely wrong, because yes, technology, modernity, and post-industrialization has affected our sleep in a larger way. So this is wrong. And option D, our clocks are not reliable since they do not give us a true sense of what midnight is. It is completely wrong. Nothing is mentioned about clocks. So the correct answer is option A. The way people sleep has been altered drastically because of technology, modernization, and industrialization. Okay, so the next question is, what does the word bout as used in the passage mean? So you can see there was the word bout in the second line of the passage. So the question is, what does that bout mean? An attack of an illness or strong emotion. B, an abbreviated form of a bout. C, a wrestling or boxing match. D, a period of activity of certain kind. So let's see what is the first option, an attack of illness or strong emotion. So nothing in the passage is being talking about illness. So this is wrong. An abbreviated form of a bout, no. Bout is different, about is different. This is wrong. A wrestling or boxing match. So nothing is being mentioned about wrestling and boxing. So this is completely irrelevant. D, a period of activity of certain kind. Yes, option D is the correct answer, because the writer is talking about sleep. So the activity here is the sleep. So this is the option D is the correct answer. Okay, the next question is, why does the author speak about the meaning of the term midnight in the passage? तो author क्यों midnight के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं passage में? First option is to demonstrate how people's eating habits are linked to the solar cycle. To demonstrate how it is no longer means the middle of sleep cycle of people in developed nations. Option C, to demonstrate how it is no longer means the middle of sleep cycle of people in hunter-gatherer tribes. D, to demonstrate how the duration of the solar cycle has changed over the millennia. Okay, so now moving towards the first option, let's discuss first. To demonstrate how people's eating habits are linked to solar cycle. So nothing here in the passage is mentioning eating habits. The passage is about sleep pattern of different people. So A is irrelevant. It is the wrong option. Now B, to demonstrate how it is no longer means the middle of the sleep cycle of people in developed nations. Yes, the writer is saying in the passage, it is written in the passage also, that in developed nations, as people are attending their office, are coming back from their office by 9 o'clock. So they are not sleeping early. They are waking up till midnight, checking their text. So yes, the writer clearly demonstrates that the meaning of midnight does not mean middle of sleep for people in developed nations. So option B is the correct answer. So, but we will read the other options also. Option C is to demonstrate how it is no longer means the middle of the sleep cycle of people in hunter-gatherer tribes. No, this is wrong because hunter-gatherers have a better sleep cycle. They are sleeping at night and they have better sleep cycle. And option D is to demonstrate how the duration of the solar cycle has changed over the millennia. No, it is nothing like this is mentioned in the passage. So this is also wrong. Option B is the correct answer. The next question is, based on the information in the passage above, which of the following is most likely to be true? So, okay. So according to the information, which options do you think is true? So this is very easy. Humans only sleep in a monophasic pattern. So is it true? No, because we clearly just read about two sleeping patterns that are monophasic and biphasic. So certainly there is not only monophasic pattern, there is biphasic pattern also. So option A is incorrect. Option B, humans only sleep in a biphasic pattern. So that is also wrong because they sleep in monophasic pattern also. So that is B is also incorrect. Option C, humans can sleep in a mix of monophasic and biphasic patterns. Yes, option C is correct because as we can see in the third paragraph, it has been clearly written, in the second paragraph, it has been clearly written that mix of sleep have been observed. So option C is the correct answer. Humans can sleep in a mix of monophasic and biphasic patterns. Okay. Option D is humans cannot sleep in a mix of monophasic and biphasic patterns. So that is completely wrong. It is the opposite of C. So this is wrong. Option C is the correct answer. The next question is, based on the information in the passage above, which of the following is true about the San of Namibia? Okay, so just remember it while I'm going to read out the options. The San of Namibia used to have observed two sleeping patterns. They used to have biphasic and monophasic. So let's see what's written in the options. They sleep in a monophasic pattern in the cooler winter months and in a biphasic pattern in the hotter summer months. B, they sleep in a biphasic pattern in the cooler winter months and in a monophasic pattern in the hotter summer months. Option C, they sleep fewer hours in the hotter summer months than in the cooler winter months. Option D, they sleep fewer hours in the cooler winter months than in the hotter summer months. Okay, so moving towards the first option, they sleep in a monophasic. We all know that San of Namibia observe two sleeping patterns. They observe mix of sleeping patterns. They observe monophasic and biphasic. So yes, this is correct. They sleep in monophasic pattern in the winter months and in biphasic patterns in the hotter summer months. So option A is correct. Option B, they sleep in a biphasic pattern in the cooler winter months is wrong because they observe biphasic pattern in the summers and the monophasic pattern in the winters. So option B has opposite information. So option B is wrong. Option C is they sleep fewer hours in the hotter summer months than in cooler winter months. Nothing as such is mentioned in the passage, so it is wrong. They sleep fewer hours in the cooler winter months than in hotter summer months. Same, nothing as such is written in the passage. So option D is also wrong. So the correct answer is option A. Okay, the next question is, which of the following, according to the author, are factors contributing to the state of sleep bankruptcy of people in developed nations? मतलब ऑथर के अकॉर्डिंग कौन से ऐसे फैक्टर्स हैं, कौन से ऐसे रीजंस हैं जिनकी वजह से जो पीपल इन डेवलप्ड नेशंस हैं, दे आर हैविंग लैक ऑफ स्लीप, दे आर नॉट एबल टू कंप्लीट देयर स्लीप. व्हाट आर द रीजंस? Option A, they are going to sleep late but still waking up early. Option B, they are not getting a full afternoon nap. Option C, both A and C. D, none of the above. So let's see what the first point is. They're going to sleep late but still waking up early. Yes, this is absolutely correct because they are waking till midnight. They are checking their mails and working all day, but they are not sleeping timely, and but they have to wake up early. They cannot sleep in the morning because they have commitments to fulfill. They have to go to office, they have to attend their meetings, so they cannot sleep in the morning. So this is correct. They are sleeping late but they are waking early, so they are not able to complete their sleep. Option B, they are not getting a full afternoon nap. Yes, obviously they are working whole day, they are in the office, they have no time, they are busy in their meetings, their everyday work. So they don't have time for themselves. They don't have time to have a full afternoon nap. So this is also correct. So option C is both A and C. So option C is correct because A option is also right and B option is also right. So option C is the correct answer, which includes both A and B. Option D is incorrect. None of the above is wrong. So option D is not the answer. Okay, the next is, which of the following would be the most appropriate title for the passage above? तो सबसे बेस्ट appropriate title क्या होगा पैसेज के लिए? A, sleep intensity of tribal people is poor. No, it is not poor. B, modern lifestyle leads to sleep bankruptcy. C, hunter gatherers don't know how to sleep. D, why we sleep. Okay, moving to the first title, it is sleep intensity of tribal people is poor. So it is not poor, but the passage is not about tribal people. So it is not appropriate for the passage. Option B, modern lifestyle leads to sleep bankruptcy. Yes, this is the correct, this is appropriate because yes, because of modernization and modern lifestyle, people are not able to sleep properly. They are working late, they are sleeping late, and they are waking up early. So this is leading to sleep bankruptcy. Yes, option B is the correct answer. Its title should be Modern Lifestyle Leads to Sleep Bankruptcy. But we'll read other titles also. Option C is Hunter Gatherers Don't Know How to Sleep. This is wrong. And Why We Sleep, it's also wrong. So option B is the correct answer. So that was it for the reading comprehension. Now we are going to start a new topic, which is figure of speech. सबसे पहले तो फिगर ऑफ स्पीच क्या होती है, आई विल टेल यू दैट बेसिकली फिगर ऑफ स्पीच इज अ फिगरेटिव लैंग्वेज. एक बात को कहने के बहुत सारे तरीके होते हैं, बट सी यू हैव ऑलवेज हर्ड दैट लॉट ऑफ पीपल सेइंग दैट इंग्लिश इज अ वेरी ब्यूटिफुल लैंग्वेज. सो व्हाट इज मेकिंग दैट लैंग्वेज ब्यूटिफुल? So with the help of these figure of speech, the language is getting beautiful. Okay, जैसे कि for example, I'm saying a sentence, you fought very bravely. Okay, and the second sentence is you fought like a lion. So दोनों sentences में क्या फर्क है? The first sentence is you fought bravely. That simply means कि ठीक है, आपने बहुत अच्छे से, बहुत बहादुरी से आप लड़े. It's a simple sentence, okay? But the next sentence is you fought like a lion. So you are giving a more impact. You're directly comparing someone to a lion. So the second sentence has more impact, and it looks better. सुनने में भी अच्छा लग रहा है, लिखने में भी बहुत अच्छा है वो. It is very eye pleasing. It is very impactful. So when you are decorating your text, when you want to make your text very eye pleasing, so then हम figures of speech का use करते हैं. इसीलिए you have seen a lot of times that poets use a lot of figure of speeches to make their poems beautiful. Okay, so now let's read the definition of figure of speech. A figure of speech is a word or phrase that possesses a separate meaning from its literal definition. It conveys meaning by comparing one thing to another. It is helpful in creating vivid rhetorical effect. सो बेसिकली फिगर ऑफ स्पीच और वर्ड्स वो वर्ड्स और फ्रेजेस होते हैं जो कि एक टेक्स्ट को बहुत सुंदर और अट्रैक्टिव बनाते हैं. जनरली फिगर ऑफ स्पीच में हम दो चीज़ों को कंपेयर कर रहे होते हैं एंड इट जस्ट गिव अ ब्यूटिफुल इफेक्ट टू द टेक्स्ट. सो नाउ बहुत सारे फिगर्स ऑफ स्पीच होते हैं, बट टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस the 7 most commonly used figure of speeches. So they are, the first is simile, second metaphor, third personification, fourth hyperbole, fifth oxymoron, sixth irony, seventh synecdoche. All right. So सबसे पहले हम सिमिली के बारे में बात करते हैं. ये सबसे कॉमन और सबसे वाइडली यूज्ड फिगर ऑफ स्पीच है. बहुत सारी जगहों पे, बहुत सारी पोएम्स में सिमिली तो जनरली होता ही है. इट इज दैट कॉमन. सो नाउ लेट्स सी कि हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई अ सिमिली. कैसे हम एक सिमिली को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं. सो इट इज अ टाइप ऑफ कंपैरिजन बिटवीन थिंग्स और ऑब्जेक्ट्स बाय यूजिंग एज, सो और लाइक. जब हमें दो चीजों को कंपेयर करना होता है, ठीक है, तो हम सिमिली का यूज करते हैं और दोनों में कोई चीज कॉमन भी होती है. जैसे कि यहाँ पे एक एग्जाम्पल है, ही इज एज स्ट्रॉन्ग एज एन ऑक्स. सो ही इज कंपेयर टू एन ऑक्स. ठीक है, ही और ऑक्स का कंपैरिजन हो रहा है एंड द थिंग विच इज कॉमन इज स्ट्रॉन्ग. दोनों में क्या चीज कॉमन है? स्ट्रॉन्ग. सो बेसिकली क्या होता है, सिमिली को पहचानने का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट तरीका इज, इन सिमिली वी यूजुअली कंपेयर सेंटेंसेस बाय यूजिंग एज, सो, लाइक. So it is very, very important that in a sentence, if there is a comparison and the comparison is made by using as, so or like, then it has to be a simile. So this is one way of identifying a simile sentence. ओके. अब क्या है आजकल, बिकॉज ऑफ द न्यू पैटर्न जो अभी चल रहा है 2020 क्लैट का, सो व्हाट दे कैन डू इज, in the comprehension itself they can underline one line and then they can ask you which figure of speech is this line. So it is very important that you should know how to identify the figure of speeches. So again, I'm saying to identify a simile, a comparison has to be there by using as, so, like. Okay, we will read some more examples. You were as brave as lion. Okay, so you are compared to a lion. Okay, and the common thing between you is bravery. Okay, bravery is common in you. So it is comparison is being made plus as is being written here. ठीक है, as, so और like अगर use हो तो it is a simile. Second, he is as hungry as a wolf. So he has been compared to a wolf and the common thing between them is hungry. And again, I'm saying as is written here to compare. So as, if there is as, then it is a simile. Third sentence, this contract is as solid as the ground we stand on. So the contract has been compared to the ground, कि जितना solid ये ground है उतना ही solid, valid और genuine हमारा contract है. So the contract has been compared to ground by the use of as. So it is a simile. They are as different as night and day. So they are being compared to night and day and the common thing is that they are different. Okay, so these were some examples of simile. Now we will proceed to our next topic, which is metaphor. Metaphor is comparing two unlike objects or things which may have some common qualities. तो मेटाफर और सिमिली काफी एक जैसे लगते हैं. यस, इसमें भी दो चीजों को कंपेयर किया जाता है, बट देयर इज अ डिफरेंस इन मेटाफर एंड सिमिली. मेटाफर में कंपैरिजन के लिए you will never use like, so, as. A direct comparison is being made in a metaphor. Okay, like in the example it is written, her long hair was a flowing golden river. So her long hair has been compared to a golden river. Okay, in this sentence, yes, there is a comparison between hair and river, but like, as or so is not used at all. ओके, इफ अगर यहाँ पर एज, सो और लाइक यूज होता तो ये सिमिली होता, क्योंकि यहाँ पे डायरेक्ट कंपैरिजन हो रहा है, सो दिस इज अ मेटाफर। तो वो हर एक सेंटेंस जिसमें देयर इज अ कंपैरिजन बट इट इज नॉट कंपेयरिंग बाय यूजिंग एज, सो, लाइक, then it is a metaphor. Okay, we will look into more examples. First is, you are my sunshine. So you are directly compared to a sunshine. Again, there is no use of as, like, or so. So it is a metaphor. The moon is a white balloon. The moon is compared to a white balloon. Again, the comparison is not made by using like, so. Okay. Third, her tears were a river flowing down her cheeks. So her tears were compared to a river, but again, there is like, so is not used here. Tom's eyes were eyes as he stared at her. So Tom's eyes were compared. So again, their comparison is not made by using like, as, so. So this is a metaphor. So this is the basic difference between metaphor and simile. Okay, the next is personification. Let's read out what is personification. It occurs when a writer gives human traits to non-human or inanimate objects. तो जब कोई human qualities या human traits हम objects को या non-human चीज को, inanimate objects को देते हैं, then it is called personification. So as the sentence here written, the stars in the clear sky winked at me. तो stars object हैं. How can stars wink? So wink is a human quality. Okay, so this human quality, human trait is being given to stars. So this is personification. Okay, we will read some more examples. The moon smiled at the stars in the sky. So again, the moon is the object and smile is a human trait. So object has been given a human trait. So this is a personification. The leaves waved in the wind. Okay, the leaves, जो leaves थी, they were waving in the wind. So the leaves are object and waving is a human trait, human quality. And so object has been given a human trait. So this is a personification. Third, time flies when you are having fun. Okay, so again, time has been given a quality, then it is, so this is a personification. The moon played hide and seek with the clouds. So the moon is an object, play is a human quality, human trait. Object has been given a human trait. So this is a personification. Okay. The next is hyperbole. What is hyperbole? Hyperbole uses extreme exaggeration. It exaggerates to lay emphasis on a certain quality or feature. So basically hyperbole में जब आपको किसी चीज को, किसी एक certain feature को exaggerate करना होता है या उस पे emphasis देना होता है, then we use this type of figure of speech, hyperbole. Okay, as you can see in the diagram also कि exaggerate अगर किसी आपको एक particular statement या quality को करना होता है, then we use a hyperbole. Example, I have told you to clean your room 1,000,000 times. इसका मतलब है कि मैंने तुमसे 1000 बार कहा है रूम साफ करने के लिए. सो कोई भी 1000 बार तो नहीं कहता है. सो बेसिकली देयर इज एन एम्फेसिस गिविंग ऑन टू क्लीन योर रूम. सो दिस इज बेसिकली एन exaggeration by saying million times. So sentences like these use hyperbole. Okay, we will read some more examples. I had a ton of homework. I had a ton of homework means that you have a lot of homework. Okay, so a ton is basically given to exaggerate on homework. Second is, if I can't buy that perfect prom dress, I'll die. So if I can't buy that dress, then I'll die. So this is also an exaggeration. Nobody will die for a dress, but this is just to exaggerate a particular thing. He's as skinny as a toothpick. This means that he's extremely skinny. Okay, so this is an example of personification. The car went faster than the speed of light. The speed of light is the fastest. So so it is being a comparison has been made. The car is so this is a personification. There is a exaggeration here. Okay, So the next topic is, the next figure of speech is oxymoron. An oxymoron is a figure of speech containing words that seem to contradict each other. तो जब दो words आपस में contradict करते हैं तब हम उसे oxymoron कहते हैं. जैसे कि example है, there is another fine mess you have got us into. मतलब you have just got us into a really problematic situation. So here words fine and mess are together. If something is fine, how can it be messy? So these are two contradicting words. So this is an example of oxymoron. We'll read some more examples also. He was forced to stand down from his position as president. Okay, he was see, stand down are being used together. If somebody is standing, how can he be down? So these are again contradicting words. Next, the comedian was seriously funny. If someone is funny, how can he be serious? So this is again a contradicting word. I had no choice but to do what I was told. You are saying no, and at the time you're saying you have choice. So this is again contradicting. And last, she is my least favorite relative. If somebody is your least, you don't like it, and you're writing favorite with it. So least favorite, this is again contradicting. So examples like these are oxymoron, when two words which contradict each other are written together. The next word is irony. So irony is a figure of speech in which words are used in such a way that their intended meaning is different from the actual meaning of words. तो irony basically वो figure of speech है जिसमें जो लिखा होता है उसका मतलब जो आप बोल रहे हो उससे बिल्कुल completely different है. For example, a marriage counselor files for divorce. So basically, who is a marriage counselor? A marriage counselor is a person who helps people who are suffering, who are going through rough patches in their life. तो at least जो marriage counselor है उसको तो बोला जाता है कि at least he should have a perfect marriage. So this is an irony that even a marriage counselor is filing for a divorce. So sentences like this are irony. Example, oh great when there's a huge line at the coffee shop. ठीक है, मतलब दिस इज अ sarcastic irony कि आप बोल रहे हो कि वाओ कितनी लंबी लाइन है, कितना ज्यादा वेट करना पड़ेगा कॉफी शॉप पे. नेक्स्ट इज दैट्स जस्ट परफेक्ट व्हेन द प्रिंटर जैम्स येट अगेन. अगेन दिस इज अ sarcastic irony कि वाओ अभी वापस से प्रिंटर जैम हो गया. A pilot has a fear of heights. So this is an irony. A person who is supposed to fly in heights, who's supposed to fly aeroplanes, is scared of heights. Last, the police station gets robbed. So people who are there to protect us, they are not able to protect themselves. So that is an irony. Okay, the next is synecdoche. Synecdoche is basically a figure of speech in which a part is made to represent the whole or vice versa. So basically this is बहुत commonly ये use नहीं होता है, but this is that type of figure of speech जिसमें कोई एक part पूरे एक होल चीज को रिप्रेजेंट करता है या पूरी एक होल चीज एक पार्ट को रिप्रेजेंट कर रही होती है. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल, चेक आउट माय न्यू व्हील्स. सो व्हील्स क्या है? व्हील्स आर पार्ट ऑफ कार. सो व्हील्स here in this sentence is representing the whole car. We will read out some examples also. I have 4 mouths to feed at home. So mouths, here mouths, what are mouths? Mouths are part of people. So here mouths is representing whole people. The mouths are representing people. So I have 4 people to feed at home. Okay. Next is the strings were praised for their excellent performance. So here the strings are what? Strings are part of violin. So the whole violin or violinist, so strings are representing the whole category of violin or violinist, that they are being praised for their excellent performance. Okay. So thank you everybody. That's all for today and our session ends here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Kids, see you tomorrow again in a session related to current affairs. The topic will be CDS, which is a very, very important topic considering this year's CLAT 2020. See you tomorrow again at 4 p.m.